This is for the squirrel owners. So this is Hazelnut. I'm Rio. We're going to be answering a lot of the frequently asked questions that we get when we go live. Diet, what they can and can't eat veggie-wise, enrichment things that can help your squirrel, and then also aggression. That's a big one that we get. We're going to go ahead and go over those, and I'm going to start with diet first. So real quick before I get in the diet, I want to gloss over metabolic bone disease. This is the worst thing that could happen to your squirrel, and it comes from improper diet. So their teeth are constantly growing about 6 inches a year, and they need a lot of calcium to do that. They also need phosphorus, but not a lot of phosphorus, and it's in everything. Calcium and phosphorus is in everything that you feed them. So that's why you hear me say those words a lot when I talk about their diet. And this is why I feed Hazelnut the way I do. Obviously, everybody's a little bit different, but if this helps anyone from, preventing their squirrel to get metabolic bone disease, I'm here for it. Anyways, basically what happens is if they don't get enough calcium, your squirrel's body is going to start taking calcium from its bones to make up for the lack of calcium so that it can properly develop its teeth, and that will cause a very unhealthy squirrely, and it can cause a squirrel to pass, and it can happen very quickly. So when I go through this, that's why I mentioned that. I will go into a little bit more into detail in a later video. So diet is going to be the most important thing for your squirrel. You are going to want to get your squirrel on good rodent blocks, which Hazel was wanting. That's why I opened it. Anyways, so we go, and this is how I do Hazelnut. We start every morning with 3 Henry's Healthy Blocks. These are going to be everything that your squirrel needs nutritionally in a day. After that, anything after that is kind of more of like a treat or a snack. But where do you find them? So the Henry's Healthy Blocks you are going to find, just go into your web browser, type in Henry's Pets, and the first link that pops up is going to take you to the website where you can get these. These are the most important thing. Every morning, 3. This is good. This is good. They do have a couple different flavors. I like to do the Healthy Blocks. Every now and again, if Hazel's being picky, I'll get the picky ones or the hazelnut. You'll see those when you log in there. Also, other important thing, these have to stay in the freezer. So the second you get them, put them in the freezer, and you can feed them frozen. Next most important thing is going to be a good rodent block. I use Envigo or Envigo. I'm not really sure how it's pronounced. I buy them on Amazon. These are just a good rat block. You can also use Oxbow that you can get in any local pet store, or you can use Missouri. You're going to want to get the rat blocks. These are also important. These ones I put freely in Hazelnut's cage. So every time that her bowl's empty, I just give her a handful more. This is what she's going to eat in between the Henry's blocks for breakfast and then her salad. The next is my favorite. So this you can do any time of the day. It's going to be the salad. So that is a big one that I get questions on. If you go to the Henry's website for your Henry's blocks, they do have a chart that will tell you squirrel safe fruits and vegetables that you can feed. It's also going to tell you the amount of phosphorus and calcium that are in those fruits and veggies. You are going to want to feed a higher calcium, lower phosphorus diet due to metabolic bone disease. The Henry's rodent blocks, those are going to help prevent that, but also everything else that you feed is also going to prevent it. So you do want to make sure you're paying attention to that. If you do want other lists, you can message me. I can send you them on Instagram or Facebook. I can't send them on here because you can't swap pictures back and forth, but I do have screenshots that I've got that do include other squirrel-safe fruits and veggies. Top of my head is going to be mustard greens, collard greens, spring mix, cabbage, different types of lettuces. I stay away from iceberg. And then there's green beans, cauliflower, broccoli. What else have you had? You've had a little bit of beets. She's all looking at me right now. Fruits-wise, this girl loves anything. She loves papaya. She loves mango. She loves oranges. She loves grapefruit, blackberry, raspberry, blueberry, strawberry. And the fruits you're going to want to limit because if you feed them a ton of fruits, they can get a little overweight. But anyways, the fruits you want to limit. So you just want a couple pieces of fruit in each salad. You mostly want greens when you do the salad. And on to Hazel's favorite, nuts. When we think of squirrels, we think of nuts. When we think of nuts, we think of squirrels. I'm going to go over squirrel-safe nuts that are good for your squirrel, but in moderation. So Hazelnut, She only gets a nut every couple days. Every 2 to 3 days, you want to limit them because they are high in phosphorus. They're not actually super great for your squirrely. They are more of a treat. I think of them like candy. Would you give your toddler candy absolutely every day? Here she is. Look at this. She's like, oh, it's not, and it actually is nut day. So tonight when we go live, she'll be getting a nut. But you wouldn't give your toddler candy every day because it's not good for them. Same as nuts. You can give them in moderation. These squirrel safe nuts are going to be hazelnuts. Almonds are a good choice. Pecans or black walnuts. When we think of squirrels, we don't think bugs, but they do like them. Hazel prefers hers out of the window, dead and gross. I do buy her clean bugs off Amazon, but these are mealworms. They can also eat crickets. I know cicadas is a really popular one. I don't have cicadas here, but you want to do this in moderation. She doesn't get them all the time. She probably gets like a couple a month. Honestly, half the time we forget about them, but she does like them. And if I don't give her them, she's just going to get them out of the windowsill. You might be thinking, where's the seeds? I don't feed Hazel seeds. So seeds nutritionally aren't really the best for them in captivity. Out in the wild, they can maintain their own diet. So if they're like, I'm needing a little bit of this today, or I'm needing a little bit of that, they can go get it. In captivity, all they get is what you give them. So you want to give them the best. Hazel, she don't get seeds. I bought her pumpkin seeds when she was like super, super little. And out of the 8 months that I've had her, I've only given her like 3. I ended up just throwing them away. But seeds are not really super healthy. You want to try to focus on the Henry's Healthy Blocks, the rodent block of your choice, Envigo, not sure how to pronounce that, Missouri or Oxbow are all really good choices. And then the healthy salad and then limited nuts. That's what you want to focus on. That's about it. Anyways, we're going to go on to part 2, which is going to be, why is my squirrel being aggressive? Can we fully prevent it? No. But I could possibly help. Anyways, like, share, and follow so that we can get this to all the squirrel owners that really need to see it. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to start on part 2.